Hello, good evening. You just need to change your directory, right? So I don't know your data and where you kept the code. And the data for tonight class, I already sent through WeChat. It is the last class. Wind data and sea level pressure, right? So in the last class, we learned how to plot, right? We just learned how to plot, but that was the global basic. Like, this is the global figures. But maybe we want to draw plot within our region. Maybe I'm interested within this region, right? Maybe you are interested with this region. It's up to you, right? But you need to change the code. By default, it's global basic, global shapefile in NCL. So when you plot in NCL, it will give you the global figures. So you already know how to check the data and the variables name, right? So in the last class, we already learned our data. We know this data UV and the sea level pressure. So first, open this monthly regional code. So I am interested over North Indian Ocean. You already know our data has 3 dimensions. We learned from last class. We have 3 dimensions, right? We have time, we have lat and long. So what I taught last class or previous classes, you can access your lat and long. So by using the curly brackets. So when you use curly brackets, then NCL will understand you want to subset your region, right? Your data is global, maybe, or you have just downloaded within in your region is fine, or you can come with CDO. That's up to you, but NCL can do for you. Okay. So I'm interested with lat 0 to 30 degree north and the long 65 to 100. So we need to use the clone. Clone means this is the index in the slicing, like from where to where. It's a range. We have the lat and long from the global. We have 90 degree north and 90 degree south. Isn't it? Negative, right? Then we have 80 degree west and positive 80 degree east. Isn't it? These are global basic, global lat and long, right? So maybe you are interested only in this region. Say for example. So you need to set the lat and long, but it should be smallest to largest. If you just put 30 to 0, it doesn't make sense. It should be smallest to largest. Okay? Clear? So even the previous classes, I showed you from 1816 to 1827 means we want to take the data from January 2016 to December 2016. Can you remember the previous classes? I showed how to select the time, right? In the last code you will find that one. So you already know we have selected the time from January 2016 to December 2016, right? We have the 12th month. Okay? And we want to plot the every month from January to December. We can print brush. We can use the print brush summary to see the time. Okay? It will be confusing who missed the last class or the previous classes. So if you missed the previous classes, I have the lecture video on my YouTube channel. Go back and learn, okay? So NCL, then this is our file, monthly regional plot. So we have selected 12 times, right? We just wanted to see how sea level pressure changed over 12 months, right, in 2016. So we have selected our lat and long. It was the global, but now I selected 0 to 30 and 65 to 100. From the previous classes, I explained this code, right? Can you remember? That was the last class. So this code was for the global. Now I am interested in my own region, what I selected, right? When you just plot, NCL will plot over global shapefile. NCL has the shapefile. Even if every software has the shapefile, even Grass, Python has the shapefile. It is global shapefile. So you need to select, you need to set the lat and long, right? Even every software you need to set. So the previous code was for the global. Now I am interested here. Okay. So now you need to add this line, otherwise you will get the error. Why? The global shapefile is, okay, if you don't alter, it's 0 to 360 degree long, right? 0 to 360, right? Or 357 point something. So your lat and long is not within global shapefile. So when you want to plot, NCL will try to cycle the whole map. But your lat and long is not global, right? That's why you need to set the false. So NCL will not cycle the global shapefile. Just focus on what you set your lat and long. Understanding is the key. You will find the code in NCL website, but understanding is the key. You need to understand why I use this line, right? This is a programming. Okay, so next we need to add this line. Why? The line is saying map limit mode is within lat and long. You don't need to give me the global map. What I said here, the minimum lat, maximum lat, minimum long and maximum long, you just give me within this region. I don't want the global. Did you get it? You need to define. So what I said, you don't need to do advanced, you don't need to go global, etc. What I said, you just give me the figure within this lat and long. Clear? So there is two options. Here you can set, it's fine. Even you can set here. But there is a question. If I don't set here, the lat long is fine. But you need to set this line. Otherwise, NCL will go with global for the mapping, right? For the plotting. Data analysis is fine. For the data analysis is okay. You set the lat long within this region, right? But when you do the map, then you need to set this line. So M is map, minimum lat is 0, maximum is 30, minimum loan 65, 100. So you can set your own let loan, right? No, this is like the function map maximum let font is 30, then minimum loan is 65. This is just the font. It's nothing, just minimum and maximum. Now, do you have any idea? Sorry?
My thing is not working anymore.
It's not working? Maybe you didn't send the subset Linux. Did you set that up? Okay, I'll fix it. So, do you have any idea about the loop? In my MATLAB class, I taught the loop, right? It was the for loop. It was the C loop. What I said, C is for loop. Even Python uses the for loop. Graphs and NCL use the for loop, do loop, right? So, I think you were present in my MATLAB class, right? So, can you give me the idea of why we need to use the loop? Why?
We need continuous iteration.
Yeah, but what is the purpose?
For example, if we are repeating the statement multiple of times, then we just fix it by inserting the loop, and it will start iteration by default.
Yeah. So,
for example, 3 times we use the decimal 3, for example, 100 times we use the decimal or we limit the loop to 100 and so on to facilitate the user to make the iteration feasible and easy.
yeah. The most important purpose is to save our time. You have 1,000 of data. You want to calculate some mathematics or etc., etc., etc. You will do by hands, one by one. It will kill you. It will take maybe more than 6 months or 1,000 months. It depends on your analysis. Maybe I'm using half-hourly data. Think about it, half-hourly data. So far there is like 48 times. So if you think about 30 years, you will die. So the computer is our labor. You need to give some task. In my MATLAB class, I already clarified what is the loop. It's the same idea. For loop is C loop, do is for loop. So NCL and graph use do loop. This is the for loop. The idea is the same. So it is the start in do, then we define anything. Then first one is, what is the starting point? In the first class I said NCL and Python is zero base. The indexing is 0. Okay? So start from 0. So we have 12 months. We saw our data, we have 12 months. But if I want to plot one by 1 month, it will take time. But I don't want to plot one by one. I will do loop and NCL will do for you within second or like finish. Clear? So NCL is 0 base. So we have the 12 times. That means it should be 0 to 11, right? Because 0, then n minus 1. Okay? So in every loop, we have the starting point, or what we said, the initialization. Then you need to define where computer will end the work. Otherwise, computer will work if, will not stop. Your computer can be crashed. Right? If you are doing job, you need to go to the office, maybe from 8 to 4 p.m., right? It has a certain time. When you start, when you finish your work, right? Even the computer, you need to define from where the computer will start the work, when the computer will finish. Did you get it? So that's why I define here, start from 0, that's means from the January, okay, till December. In NCL, it should be used comma. MATLAB is colon. Can you remember? 1, then colon 12. And MATLAB is 1 base. Okay? So we need to use comma. Then what is the step, or we call the iteration or the increment? By default, every programming language is 1. In every language, even Python, C, Fortran, NCL, MATLAB, or whatever, if you don't set the increment or iteration or step, whatever you call, by default is 1. That's why I didn't define the step here. If you want to do like, okay, from January to February 1 figure, the next class I will show you, you can do the 4 months average, like from January to March or April. That's when you need to give the step. Okay, I have 12 months, you just take 3 months and do average and give me the figure. 3 months, 4 months, right? These are steps. But tonight, I will show you just one by one. One class, not for everything. So for this purpose, I created the empty array. You know the array, right? You have the basic of programming language, right? This is the array, list of data. So I just created the month. I want to give the figure's name, like I have the figure. So I want to give here, okay, this figure is January. Did you get it? And this figure is February. So I have created an array. I don't want to give January, February, month in every figure one by one. No. I use a loop. Okay? From January to December. Be careful, NCL use double quotation for string. What is a string? Character. You should have the basic of computer programming. So C use double quotation. It's not Python 1 quotation, 2 quotation, 3 quotation, whatever is a string, but NCL is use the double quotation. So that's why I use, then you need to use the comma. If you want to create the array, you need to use parentheses, then use the backslash. So now what I did, I said my time, you can give T, I, whatever you want, you can give. 0 to 11, that means it's from January to December, right? You have 12 months. Then what does it mean, the left string? As I just said, string means it's a non-numeric data, it's some character. Any character is called a string. Okay? In the computer, even in data science, we have two data, numeric and non-numeric. The non-numeric data is a string. Even we have the logic, true and false. This is also the string, like non-numeric data. So this is our figures. So we have 3 parts in figure, right? Imagine you have the figure. You have 3 parts. You have the left, you have right part, right? Even you have the center, right? Understanding is the key. What does it mean by this code, by this line? Imagine you have the figure. You have the left part, you have the right part, even you have the center, right? Most of the time, in our figure we give A, B, C, then we give the, okay, maybe March, April, May, or maybe, what is the figure? Maybe we give the, okay, January, or maybe we can give the name, okay, this is surface temperature from this time, right? We give the name, right? So if you want to give the name, it should be the left string. This is all the character. It's not the numeric data. Did you understand? So in the previous classes, what I said, if you understand one programming language, you will understand every programming language. These are the same thing, the string. So that's why it's saying, we want to add the left string, even the last code is saying the right string. So if you want to give the name, we need to define GSM left string or right string, right? Or maybe if you don't want, you can put empty. So from the right left string, I want to give the name for, like time 1 is January, I want to give the January. So I use the loop. I don't need to give one by one, right? In every figure, I don't need to give one by one. That's why I use this empty double quotation. Otherwise, it will be the numeric data. We need to use the quotation, double quotation, right? It's a string. Then you need to add the plus sign. What you want to add in this string? I want to add the months. We just created the array, right? In this parenthesis, we need to use T. Why? You need to tell the computer, this is a string. I want to give the name January to December, right? So for the first figure, 0 to 12, that means the 12th month, we'll get the 12 figures. That's why we put the T. That means the computer first will take the January, then we'll take the February, then take the March, April, etc. till December. Isn't it? When you use the loop, you don't need to give the name one by one figure. Then if you don't want to give the title in the right string, I don't want to give, then you can put empty. You just use double quotation and empty. Okay? Then you know this control map, the function. Here you need to use the T. Why? We have 12 months. Even here, we have the 12 month in our data. You need to use T. So it will give you the January, first figure, February, March, April till December. Then it's not Python, you need to use do. You need to finish your loop. Only the programming language Python don't use the end, like for end, don't use. Just use the for space. Come back. But every language is you need to finish. Where you start, you need to finish. From this is called a block or a statement. You give some task the computer. So computer will start here and will finish when you have finished the work. Clear? Yo Antima. Meola. Okay, run the code. You see finish. 12 figures. Should come. January, right? February. March. Till December. So writing code is sometimes difficult, but why not finish writing code? Within second you will get the output. This is the advantage of the code. I often write code maybe within week, or sometimes it's very difficult code. I write the code within a month, but when I finish writing code, I enjoy. I just run. I just put the data. Okay, finish. Clear? So maybe you have a question, right? You have the 12 figures. Now you want to put the 12 figures is one figure, right? Panel plots, next class. We need to use the loop again. Okay? Sorry?
Yeah, it's not actually.
Okay, we'll see after the class. Any question? Okay, so if no question, then open the win plot. Again, you will be confusing if you miss the previous classes. We had this data, right? UB. So for the UB, our variable name was, even we have the 4 dimensions, the data, right? We had time, we had label, and we have the lat and long. For the wind, so we have 2 labels, 200 and 850. So you can select the label, even the same way you need to use the curly bracket. If you want to do indexing or like subsetting in NCL, it should be used by curly brackets. Okay? Then you need to use the slicing operator clone. Now I want to calculate the wind speed. Wind speed is like this is our equation, right? Isn't it? This is the wind speed. So you can do manually, but NCL made the function for you. So you don't need to write. So wind speed has the function in NCL. I get the link. You can go there, you'll find this equation. Okay. Then in this function, you need to give U and B. You already defined U and B, right? From this line. Let's see. Okay, so for the wind speed, we have 4 times. And we have the lat and long. I already said the lat long. The units is meter per second. You know this code from previous classes. Now, what I said in the last class, you can select different colors from NCL, right? The last class we used the MATLAB Z color, right? And let's see, open the link. You can choose the color. NCL has color table gallery. You can use even the grass color, even you can use the MATLAB colors. There is a color tables. You can choose which one you need, right? So I gave the link. In future, you just open this link and you choose your own color. Okay? For this, I use this one. You need to use the double quotation. Within this double quotation, you need to put the color. Then, what do we say? Wind. Wind is a vector, right? So for the wind speed, we can shade it by colors, right? We can shade by colors, right? For the wind speed. But if you want to see the direction of the wind, that means this is a vector, isn't it? So you can use the arrow, or maybe you can use the wind bar, isn't it? It's up to you. So when you want to see the wind speed and the wind direction both, so you need to set the vector resources in NCL. Did you get it? The idea? Imagine you just calculated the wind speed. You just want to show the wind speed. Yeah, you can shade. But if you want to show the direction of the wind, you need to set the vector. Okay? So for the wind speed, this is a base map. But if we want to show the direction, we need to overlay. Do you know overlay? This is a base map. Then from the base map, we want to show the wind direction. That's when we need to overlay. This is the idea. Okay? Oh, sorry. Oshamma. Okay. So same for the resources, we need to use true. We want to save the vector resource, right? Now, you can set the vector position mode is true. By default, the arrow center, like the center of the arrow is placed at the data location. You have the data somewhere here, right? This is an integration, right? You know this, the inside story, right? We want to use the direction. So this is the integration of the data point, right? It will give you the arrow. So you need to use the true. So while you have, maybe you have the data here, it will give you the arrow here, okay? Then you can use line arrow. You can set the arrow length, then the height, width, etc., whatever you want. But there is different options. By default is line arrow. You can use the fill arrow. You can use the wind bar, what I said. Even you can use curly vector. Right? You have the options. But you need to define. By default is line arrow. Then you can set the length. The arrow length, right? Then you have the reference vector, right? Maybe 30. You have the reference vector, you have the value. Every vector you have the value, right? So you want to give the reference vector. Then where you want to give the reference vector? Inside the map or outside the map? So if the negative, then it should be the inside the map. Reference vector into the plot. Okay, you will see the figure and you will understand, right? So this is the idea. Then the same way, I don't want to give the right string, left string, and title for this vector. I just want to give for wind speed. Okay, that's why I kept empty. Just I didn't give anything. Just empty. Double quotation, this empty. This thing, you know that. So even for this one, the same thing, we have the 4 time. That's why I gave the time is 0 to 3. Same as previous plot, previous loop. Then if I want to give the right string meter per second. Then we have the wind speed data, right? In the same way, you need to put the T. Okay? But we also want to give the vector. We want to show the wind direction. Then we need to use this function for the vector. What I said, for wind speed, we have the base map. It will give you the wind speed. But within the map, we want to show the wind direction. That's why we need to overlay. Then you need to use this function overlay. One is for wind speed, one is for vector. Then we overlay 2 plots. The result will be the base map. Within the base map, I want to add wind direction. Yeah. Then you need to use 2 function. Draw plot A, because while the A is the base map. Then frame W case means we already define our figure will be in PNG file, right? We have the base map, we'll get the PNG file, and you will give the wind direction, but within this PNG file. Clear? Draw the plot A, the base map, then A. Clear?
Does the shaded one usually the base map, or how does it see it?
Sorry?
Does the shaded one is the
Yeah, base map, of course.
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a base map. Then you want to add something. Direction is just you want to add some
Above.
direction, yeah. Finish. See, you can use loop within second. Finish. So I use this for cyclone. You can see the cyclone something, right? Is happening. The wind direction is. So you can draw. So the shaded map was the base map. Then you added the direction. Any question? Mm-hmm.
Does the shapefile consider as layer also in this way?
Mm-hmm. Shapefile?
Yeah, if I want to draw shapefile, is it considered as layer also, so I put based on shape?
No. If you in NCL you can use direct your country shapefile or whatever you have shapefile. Maybe next class I can show. This is a NCL shapefile, but you have the own shapefile. Yeah, NCL can do. NCL is powerful. I will show you. You have the NetCD file. You put the shapefile. NCL will mask like in GIS. What we do in the ArcGIS. We have the NetCD file. Then shapefile we mask and plot. In NCL can do. Next class or maybe. The same thing. No, this is for the vector. You can use this one. The same thing, same idea. Paste, but you need to change the data. Yeah, you need to change the data, variable, etc. That's it. The resource or function is the same.
I think that it will not work like in maybe like lunch, for daily.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.